Hi everyone, welcome. Today we are going to just go over some pointers for how to design your float in Fusion 360, or at least all the components. I wouldn't try to design the whole huge thing. That might be intimidating. Just think about what part do you need. I'll show you how to figure out the sizing for it so you can stay on task with stuff. All right, what we're going to do first is we're going to create just a quick sketch here on the front plane. And we're going to grab a circle and we're going to do the 4-inch pipe, the inside of that pipe. I'm going to make this into a construction line. And I don't know off the top of my head how many millimeters are 4 inches. But what I can do here is just do 4 times 25.4. I do know that there's 25.4 millimeters in an inch. So 4 times that should give it to me, and that's going to be 101.6 it looks like. Now I don't actually want, because the pipe is just barely under 4 inches, and I don't want any of my components to actually hit the edge of the pipe. So I'm going to drop this down, and I'm going to say, let's call this 99. So instead of 101.6, which is roughly the approximate one, it's 2 millimeters in. So I know if I design anything inside this circle, it's going to fit in the pipe with just a little bit of clearance there for some little bit of play, a little bit of error. Now what I'm going to do is model in the base. So to do that, I need to know how wide the base is. But I'm going to grab a rectangle tool here and just drag it across some random location down by the bottom somewhere. I'm going to drag it across here and hit tab and go 5.3 millimeters for the thickness of the rectangle, and then just drop it here in the middle somewhere. Then I want to connect this bottom line with this other side of the tube. So I'm going to do a coincidence tool, and coincidence the bottom corner here with the circle here, that'll snap to it. I hit escape. I can actually start dragging this, and you'll see how it stays stuck to the circle no matter where I drag it to. And that's kind of what I want. Next thing I need to do is dimension the size of this. This is the piece, the top piece of the plywood. Don't worry about that underside piece. You don't really need it for anything quite yet. I need to dimension that. So hit D, click a dimension here, and then grab some calipers and measure the width of one of those pieces of plywood for the bottom thing. Put that number in here. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's 60. Well, it's probably a little bit bigger than that. Let's say 70. That's too big. You measure yours to get the actual right one. Now what this tells me is this is where the piece of plywood is going to sit inside the pipe. I'm going to move these out of the way just so I can see what's going on here. I have the rest of this space to play with. So as I'm designing stuff, I need to make sure it stays inside this circle. And I can even use that circle to help guide some of my shapes, the biggest shape possible. I might even escape real quick. I might even click on this one and turn the construction lines off on that one so I can actually use it as the edge of a shape. So I can do anything out into this. This will give you a nice reference frame for your pipe and your plywood base. Best of luck to you. I hope everything goes well with all your designs. If you need help with anything, let me know. I'm literally here to help you. Oh, one last thing. When measuring things with the calipers, everything we're working with was probably made in metric. So as you're estimating the sizes of things and it's like 0.8, you should probably think, well, that probably isn't a 0.8, it's probably a whole number. And that usually will get you in a pretty good space. So if you're measuring the distance between two holes, you're kind of eyeballing the center of the two holes. If it comes out close to a whole number, it's probably that whole number. Also, any holes you drill for screws or anything, measure the screw and add a little to it, because that hole is going to always print a little smaller than what you design it to be. And then with that, just start making things and printing them as fast as you possibly can, because you're going to need to probably print things 2 or 3 times as you make corrections and find out things that do and don't work. Best of luck to you. I hope you enjoy the process. Again, if you need any help, let me know. I'm here to help.